What's going on? What's going on? This your boy Corey, man, owner of Geeks Clothing Company and host of Geeks to Masters. This is the Geeks 1% Club.
We don't accept it. Well, that is, we reject it. Yeah. Geek gang. Geek gang. This that Geeks 1% Club. You can't sit with us, step up. Big brain, big data, big dub.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all feeling, man? Everybody all right? Okay. All right. Because if you ain't, man, drop a comment, man. Let's talk about it. Yes, sir, man. What's going on, man? Welcome to the Geeks 1% Club. This is the platform where we talk all things geeks, man. All intellectual talk, anything dealing with the mind, anything dealing with psychology, finance, social, whatever the situation is, whatever the topic is, we going to cover it here on the 1% Club, man. But today, I thought it would be pretty dope by it being the second installment to go ahead and just kind of cover, the psychology of the 1%. I've already covered and defined, what the 1% Club is, what I feel the 1% represents. If you haven't heard, I'll go ahead and just kind of briefly cover it. The 1%, like I say, is a group of individuals that think a little bit deeper than the norm. They look at life and they see, hey, I see problems. I feel I have solutions. I got skills in my bag and I know how to apply them. I'm a master of my craft. And I know exactly who I am because I went inside and I looked at that and figured it out. So that's the 1%, man. The people that understand that. The people that see life just a little bit different. That's what this platform is for. So, the psychology behind it, it's a whole mentality behind, being a part of this group. It's a natural occurrence, one thing. It's something that it's in you. It's already there. If you analytical, if you look at things and you try to figure them out, you try to look at the deeper meaning behind things, you already in the 1%. You know what I'm saying? So the club is simple. Be great. Be to your best potential. And you in the 1% club. You dig what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that's it in a nutshell. But the psychology behind the 1%. Now, that's what we're going to talk about today. First thing is, if you notice, a lot of intelligent people seem to disappear. You see them for a while. They show you their intellect. They show you their creation, their potential, so to say, and then you don't see them no more. I'm talking highly intellectual people. Why don't you see them like that? That's the question. To me, I think it's important to be exclusive. To be highly exclusive, You don't want too many people having access to you. You don't want too many people to be able to touch you, reach out and touch you. Touch you, your ideas, your mentality. You want to be able to be as exclusive as possible, and I think that's a superpower a lot of people underestimate. When people see you a lot, all the time, at every event, in every situation, all the time, it dilutes your presence. You know what I'm saying? Like, your presence is impactful. When you're a higher caliber being and your mentality is different, when you speak volumes. When you do things, your acts are big and they humongous. People feel them. So for you to always be in people's face, it kind of dilutes your impact. You want to be able to step out and when you speak, it holds weight. It's not something that it's not something that's diluted. It's not something that feels repetitive or something that feels like, oh, this guy again. It's like, nah, he finally came out to talk. You know what I'm saying? We've been waiting to see what he had to say about this. What she had to say about this. What she was going to do. So, exclusivity is important. Don't dilute your presence. Don't dilute your presence, man. Because the more accessible you are, the least impactful you can be. You know what I'm saying? Also, I think it's important to isolate, as a thinker, as a creator. You got to be able to break away because that's your opportunity to recharge. You put out so much when you create. You put out so much when you have to socialize. I know a lot of times the thinkers aren't real social, but you put out a lot of energy. You put out a lot of you, and you got to recharge. You got to replenish. You got to be able to put some of that back because you got more creating to do. You got more things to accomplish, and when you burn yourself out like that, you always moving, always out, always doing, always in people's face. You don't give yourself a chance to put it back. So isolate so that you can recharge and so that you can think of new ideas, so that you can move the clutter out the way and think of new ideas. So I think it's important, man, as intellects to learn the art of disappearing. You feel me? You got to be like a ninja in that sense. You know what I mean? But yeah, I like that's an important one. Um, another thing dealing with the psychology of the 1% is, you know, high performers seem to get obsessed with things. I know that's something, I know I do. I can't speak for you, but I know I do. Um, Sometimes you can get an idea, man. It'll take hold of you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you could be thinking of a project, or you may want to apply a new method or a new strategy to something you're already doing, and it'll consume you. You know what I'm saying? You could become obsessed. And I think it's important. I think it's important to redefine the word obsessed. That's for one thing. Because I see it as passion, you know? I see it as you being passionate about something. I see it as you putting 100 hours in, you putting your whole heart, and you understand what could come out of this. So you're not gonna like shortchange yourself by not putting your all into it. And I get it. But that can become an obsession. That can be some. Okay, so let's do this for one. Let's do this first. What is obsession, right? To be obsessed with something. In my opinion, my opinion is like when you obsess with something, it consumes your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? It kind of consumes your thoughts. It's like it's uncontrollable. I'm obsessed with this idea. It has a hold on my mind. I can't let it go. When you passionate about something, it's like it's like you emotionally compelled to do something. It's like, oh, I feel it in my heart. I have this high emotion about it. But it's important to have passion. It's important to know when you're obsessed with an idea, and it's highly important to know the difference. Um, because as creators, man, it's gonna happen, but we got to be able to detach from an idea too. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to be like, all right, well, this isn't working. If it's something that's not working, because I know sometimes, if you're passionate about something, if you say it's something you care a lot about, you really feel like, hey, I really want this to go this way. I really want this to work. I know the feeling, but sometimes it's not meant for you to do it that way, or it's not meant for you to do that particular project. It's like that sometimes. And you got to recognize when that limit hits, when that time hits, when it's like, okay, well, now it's time to pivot. Now it's time to go in the bag and figure out something else. Either a new way to do it, a new approach, or scrap it, take the piece of paper, take the shot into the trash can and pull out a new one and start over. And see, that's where that infinite reservoir of inspiration comes in. You got to be able to pull. You got to be able to be like, all right, well, this ain't working. Let's do this. And have that same passion, and have that same aggressive, wanting to complete it mentality. You know what I mean? You got to be like that. It's important. So, know the difference between being obsessed with something and being passionate about something. And go in. You know what I'm saying? Go in. But know when it's time to let it go. Know when it's time to pivot. You know what I mean? But that's dope. That's a deep one. You know what I'm saying? That's a deep one. Another question I pose, right? Why is silence important when it comes to, the psychology of the 1%? Why is silence so important? This is a big one for me, because I don't like before I started doing business, before I really, started taking what I do serious, I never really been on social media to be like, hey, look at me. You know what I'm saying? I never been that guy. Because I feel like I said, that dilutes your presence, for one. And for two, it just didn't feel natural to me, to be in everybody's face or to be showing everybody what I'm doing. I guess that's the thing. I like to keep it all under wraps until it's time to reveal. So um, I posed the question, why is it important? Because you peep a lot of people that's successful. They ain't doing a lot of talking about what they got going on. They ain't doing a lot of bragging and boasting about what they got coming. You know what I'm saying? They may give you sneak peeks. They may give you snippets, but they not out here just talking, being loud about their intentions, being loud about what they're doing. A lot of people are silent, man, and I think silence is important. It's a powerful tool. When you can be silent about something, man, it's 10 times more impactful when you reveal the success. When you can be like, hey, this is what I've been doing. This is what I've been tucked off doing. This is why people haven't seen me in a while. This is what I've been putting that work into. And then when you pop out and it's how you wanted it to be, and it's hitting people the way you wanted it to, and they receiving it, and it's like, yeah. It's like, to me, that feels dope. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's power in that silence, man. There's real power in that silence. And another thing, when you talk about what you're doing all the time, when you exposing, oh well, this finna do this finna come out at this date, or we finna do this by this time. You kind of create this anticipation with the people. Now, if you already got it orchestrated and you got your ducks lined up to where you can supply that in a timely fashion, then cool. But if you still building on an idea, you just got hold of it. It just started to grow inside of you. You like, all right, I'm putting together my plan. And then you start talking about it too early. Now you're building anticipation on something that you haven't even built the groundwork for. So what if things start to change during your creative process, and you got to push back that date, that release date, or now you got to, or it's not going to take as long as you thought it would, and now you want to push it up. The thing is, what it does is it makes you have to rush your mental process, because now you set an expectation. Now people are like, oh, well, I know it's finna come on this date, so I'm waiting on it. And then if it doesn't, now you look like you playing. You know what I'm saying? Now you look like you out here just talking. You feel what I'm saying? And you gotta be on point. Cause the thing about people, man, it's a psychology behind expectation and loyalty and what people expect you to do. When you say you're gonna do something and you do it, it ingrains in their mind, oh, this is a reliable person. This is a reliable business. This is a reliable artist. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. And if you can't do that, it's going to be a problem. So silence is important in that aspect, man. When we in that creative mode, when we in that creative phase of the idea, build it first. Build a foundation. Build something that's real first. Make sure that you can fulfill what you're saying you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Do not sit up here and make it seem like you got it all under control and figured out, and it's coming, and then it don't come, because you're gonna lose people that believe in you, man. You're gonna lose that whole following that you've built of people that have faith in your vision and your mission, because then it's gonna seem like you don't. So keep it under wraps until you know what's happening, until you got it all figured out, and then hit them. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's deep. I like that. Be silent. And I think that's a dope superpower to have, man. Yeah, man. Another thing that's important is we got to protect our energy out here, people. I know it's a lot of people may not be on that level as far as thinking about energy and frequency and all that, but you got to protect it, man. Even if you don't look at it as energy. Let me just say it's like this, right? Think of it as think of it as your fuel of existence, so to say, or like your your essence of being. Your energy is something that, you know, with the right intention, can move mountains. But with the wrong intentions, man, people could use it against you. So you got to protect it. You know. A law of energy is energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed and changed. You dig what I'm saying? So the energy that's inside of you, right? Can't nobody take it from you. You can't destroy it. You can't, you know what I'm saying? It's there. But it's up to you to cultivate it. It's up to you to put intention behind it. It's up to you to fuel to let it fuel what's already built inside of you. And to let it create great things. That's what your energy does, man. Your energy can actually it's actually contagious as well. Like I said, it can be transformed, man. I think it can be transferred as well. You can energize another person just off of being yourself, just off of being at your full potential. So energy is important and you got to protect it. You know what I'm saying? You got to protect that energy, man. Because people will try to use it against you, you know. And at the end of the day, think of it like this. If it can't be destroyed, then that means you got to give it back. You know what I'm saying? At the end of your lifespan, you got to get that back. That's something that's borrowed. That's something that's not yours. But it's also something that you can cultivate, harness, and you can use for great things. So protect it. Have intention with it, man. And be the best geek that you could be out here. Think about it first and move. Because you got a whole span of energy within you that you can utilize. So do that, man. Don't let that energy go to waste. Protect it and use it for good things, you know. For real, for real. I mean, like I say, man, here on this page, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to be covering a lot of topics. And I think a lot of these topics are important because I think it's half and half. I think it's a lot of people that think about these things, that think like, hey, I wonder if people think like me. You know, or I wonder if the way that I'm thinking is going to work for me in the long run. Am I on the right track? You know what I'm saying? But this page is to tell you that I'm a person that has tried a lot of different things, you know what I'm saying? And through trial and error, I've learned a lot of different things about the mind. You feel me? It's all in the mind. Everything is mental. That's what I've come to. It's all mental, you know? If you got your mindset right, on the right track, you know, if you got your mindset on something positive, if you're vigilant enough to do research and figure things out for yourself, the truth, the real deal truth about life, what's going on, as far as how you apply to it, not everybody else, because you don't want to work. You walking your own journey. If you're courageous enough to do that, then I think everything gonna work out for you in the end. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that about my life too. I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna remain positive. I'm gonna help people. I'm gonna try to do the best I can to help people. And I'm gonna try to figure this thing out. I ain't gonna take it laying down. Because I feel like that's part of the 1%. You're a geek, then you're gonna think about it. You don't take it the way it's given to you. You take it and you dissect it and you figure it out. And if something don't add up, you figure that out too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do as geeks, and that's what this page is for. You know, we're gonna think about things. We're not gonna take them laying down. We're not gonna take it laying down. We're not gonna take information that's just given to us and just regurgitate it, or just let it sit inside of our psyche and build ideas that aren't real. No, we're gonna be real. We're gonna look within ourselves, and that's gonna be the real. That's the truth. But I'm starting to go. The last thing I wanted to speak about is why most people don't. Well, I say why most people avoid deep thought. You know, they just just getting deep, getting deep on things. You know, I don't. Let me hold on. A lot of people wonder what I be drinking. It's ginger. I do the ginger lemon. You feel me? Like I like to burn, but I think surface level is easy, man. It's easy. We got a lot of heavy stuff going on in the world right now. A lot of heavy stuff, man. while trying to take care of family, kids, bills, responsibility, still love our loved ones and show compassion. There's still a lot of things going on in the world, man, that seem to be of harm to our well-being and our livelihood. I get it. I understand. And a lot of these things cause us to detach from reality. That's why we get caught up in social media. I think that's why a lot of people get caught up in the drinking and the drugs or the partying. You know, people are trying to be distracted from what's really going on because it's heavy. A lot of people would rather numb themselves. I get it. And I think that that's why a lot of people are avoiding deep thought, because surface level is easy, man. It's cool. You know, if I could stay on the surface, then maybe I won't feel the impact of what's going on, and then eventually, it won't be real. But it is. And we gotta be more deep about the way we look at things. We have to be. I don't care what your mental level is. I don't care what level of school you went to. You could have dropped out, or you could be a college graduate. I don't care what level of intellect you're on. Try to get deep as possible within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, that's the first thing. You got to know who you are. I think in order to get deep in thought, you have to be able to get deep in emotion. You have to be able to understand things. You got to know where you stand. So, start trying to look within more instead of outward. I think that's the first thing we could do to help us to get a little bit more deeper in thought on a more normal basis. Start looking within. When you face situations, circumstances, problems, whatever, look within first. How do I feel about this? What do I think about this? How do I apply to this? Why is this happening to me, and how can I fix it? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it starts with us, but then we'll look outside because, again, the surface is more comfortable. But let's start getting a little deeper. I think that'll take us further. If we get deeper, then we can solve more problems. We can understand ourselves more, and we can move through this life with less resistance. You know what I'm saying? We can make things happen. When you get deep in your mind, man, it's no bounds to what can happen, to what you can create. To where your mind can take you. Give it a chance. Give yourself a chance. I always say that. Give yourself a chance. Don't count yourself out. Give yourself a chance. It's real magic in you. You know what I'm saying? Let it out. Let it out. Be a geek about it. Yes, sir. I feel good. I feel good about where we at right now. I think we could leave it here. I think we can cover something real major, man. The psychology of the 1%. Like I say, it's a mentality. Everything is a mentality. I mean that when I say that. You can literally shape your reality by the way you think about things, by the way you perceive it. So, let's work on remaining positive. Let's work on that art of disappearance. Let's stay out the way for a minute. Let's create some things, okay? Let's start being passionate about things and understanding when we're obsessed about something and it's not working. Detach. Alright? We got to be able to detach. Again, silence is powerful. Don't let them know what you're doing yet. Keep it in the bag. You feel me? Then when you got, they're going to be like, oh, that's where you been. Yeah. It feel good. It motivates you to start on that next project. So let's be silent, man. Let's move like a ninja with this, man. Let's protect the energy. Let's protect that fuel of existence. Let's protect it. We ain't gonna let nobody take advantage of us. We ain't gonna let nobody push us in the way that we don't want to go. We're gonna think for ourselves. We're gonna open our mind, and we're gonna be positive while doing it. We're gonna protect that energy, man. It's very, very important. And last but not least, we're gonna start looking within more so that we can get deeper in thought. So that we can understand our problems more. We can fix them faster if we can understand them quicker. All right. Hey man, it's been dope talking to you. It's always dope talking to you, man. I feel like we building something. What they say, if you build it, they will come, and that's what I'm doing. I'm building it, so my geeks will come. I want thinkers, man. I want people around me that think deep, that think hard, that think wide, that think vast, that understand that this world is theirs, man. It's the Thinkers Day, man. We're gonna do it. We're gonna show these folk what's going on. All right. As always, Let's change the perception one impression at a time. This was the Geeks 1% Club. Chill.
This that Geeks 1% Club. You can't sit with us, step up. Big brain, big data, big dog.